Welcome to the latest addition to the Compliance Podcast Network, Report from Impact 2023. ECI's Impact 2023 was one of the leading compliance events in the year of 2023. At this conference, Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, was able to visit with several of the speakers, exhibitors, participants, and one group from an ethically minded Girl Scout troop in New Jersey. In this limited podcast series, Tom explores many of the most cutting-edge topics in ethics and compliance through short podcast episodes. Check out the full series of interviews. You will be enlightened, informed, and come away with a fuller and more thorough understanding of the most cutting-edge topics in ethics and compliance. Check out this episode of Report from Impact 2023. Today we have a trio for an ESG panel: Jacqueline Brevard from Merrick, Andrea Bonin-Blanc, GRC Advisor, and Jose Javier Guadalupe from Director for Platform for Social Impact. I know you'll enjoy this episode of Report from Impact 2023. Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox, back for another episode of ECI Impact 2023, and this is our first podcast with Triple Trouble. So, why don't you all introduce yourselves?
You got that right.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Brevard, former Chief Ethics and Compliance Officer of Merck.
Hi there, I'm Andrea Bonin-Blanc, CEO of GC Risk Advisor, but more importantly, independent ESG and integrity advisor to the Platform for Social Impact.
And I'm Jose Javier Guadalupe, alias Jay. I'm the integrity director for the Platform for Social Impact, so grateful for being here.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you talked about transformative integrity. One of the key themes I've heard already in this conference is transformation. The second theme is integrity, and the third key theme has been convergence. Multiple stakeholders, multiple groups, multiple issues. And I wanted to start the questioning with, what do you all see as a way for either ethics and compliance, ESG, or hopefully the convergence of those two to help lead these efforts?
Well, this is something that immodestly I've been talking about for a little while. I really think that ENC is part of this larger transformation that's taking place that has to do with intangible risk and opportunity, and businesses that have been paying attention to this are doing better. Businesses that have not been paying attention to this will not be doing well in the world of the future. And so I think an integrated approach to ESG, ENC, and a couple of other things that are related is the way to go from a strategic risk and opportunity standpoint.
How do you do that at the board level for a board who has looked at all of these disciplines in a very siloed manner?
Maybe I was thinking Jay should talk about his board.
Well, I would say from the starting point that it's quite a challenge. We were talking about how this might be seen as a checkbox that tends to kill the culture that we are trying to build. This scenario that we are living globally, and I will point it out to Puerto Rico where we are based, is very changing and is very risky, if you can call it that way. So for board members to understand that there's value in what we are trying to attempt, and this transformative leadership is going to grasp, I think is quite of a challenge, but it's part of the cost of what we are trying to do. So we need to engage them. We need to make them understand. We need to make them align with what we are trying to put together, as I would say, at the movement for PSI, but also as a ethics and compliance professionals here.
And may I add, I think the key to success in the PSI case in particular is building it from the ground up, meaning recruiting the right board members they're not stuck with board members who came from somewhere and were doing things, the ordinary way. They're actually recruiting board members specifically to help move the ball down the field, so to speak. So they come in with the right frame of mind, understanding the mission, understanding the values, and moving forward in that manner.
And I think that those board members need to be future-oriented people, people who understand the current challenges and the challenges of the future, and know that an integrated approach is the way to create value, preserve value, and cater to stakeholders properly. And it is a challenge to find those kinds of people because, by definition, board members are usually very highly successful people who are part of the establishment, if you want to call it that. And this requires change management, transformation, and a view to the future and how the future is going to affect us and how we can affect it.
One of the things that was discussed this morning was the generational change in the workforce, and that the values of people of my generation are not the values of either the current workforce or the workforce coming in. How can we reach those new generations coming in a way that's truly going to motivate them?
I would say that we need to listen closely and fully. We need to fully listen what they have to say, and that is power. I would say that is power for an organization to be able to really listen what they are trying to bring, and to provide purpose-filled organizations for them to join. In our case, for example, one exercise that we are very glad that we have the chance to do was build our actual values of the organization with the staff, with the base. So we heard what they have to do, and we put together a set of values that they can resonate to, and that stick them or engage them with the organization's purpose. So I think how we move or shape our organizations or businesses in a way that can be turbocharged or improved in a way to them to be part of, and to really make a difference for them as a base, as a staff, as part of their organization.
Jacqueline?
Well, I think in the same light, not only do we have to listen, we have to respond. We have to create space for them. We have to, first of all, accept the fact that they do come from a different generation. They don't think the way we do. They don't think the way I do. I'm a baby boomer. And they're not going to work for just any old organization. They want to work for organizations whose mission they support, they believe in, whose values they agree with, and they'll just turn it down. Simple as that.
And that's why the board members of tomorrow have to incorporate either people who understand those issues or are sensitive to those issues, or even younger board members than we've integrated into boards in the past, especially for an organization as transformative as the Platform for Social Impact.
And I would say, adding to what Jackie said, the phrase that you usually mention, the audio and the video needs to be in sync. So from the top down, there's a need to make that happen, to walk the talk. Is
walk
that
the talk and make the audio match the video.
Yeah.
Trademark that.
Well, we're certainly going to cut that out and use that in a teaser for this episode. I was wondering if I might end by asking each of you for some of your thoughts and observations of this year's conference, recognizing, one, it's the first one since 2019. Two, the world has frankly changed since 2019. I heard both Pat Harned and Nick Gallo talk about we're either at an inflection point, a fulcrum point, or an opportunity point. And just ask you for your reflections on Impact 2023 so far, and I'll start with you, Jose.
Well, for me, it's my first time here, so I'm glad that I have the chance to join you and this conference. And in the point that where we are now globally, I think we are certainly in an inflection point. And I think that today, more than ever, the ethics needs to be part of what we are heading to. So everything is changing too fast. Everything is moving really, really fast, and we are not going to stop that. But how we build and we put the safeguard for us to not to crash, if we can call it that way, and we can have a like an image of the car racer. So I'm willing to move forward with what technology has to bring to us, but how we do it in a safe and a good way is very important. Also thinking of the image of power, how we are distributing the power properly in order to have the check and balances in place, and we can like guard each other or be looking up to each other benefits, if we can look at it that way. So it's my reflection now.
Andrea?
Yeah, I most definitely agree. We're in an inflection point, and I think we are at a point where the change is going to be more dramatic than anything we've ever seen in our lifetimes and beyond. So because of the technology that is being unleashed, everything is going to change. And so this conference, to me, started off fantastically, including with your interview with Andrew, which was terrific. Pat's presentation was spot on and brilliant. And I think that the ethics and compliance community is ideally suited to be part of the transformation of organizations to be adapted to our future world. But we have to make sure we are continuously educating ourselves, expanding our horizons. The convergence of the ESG, ENC, SDG, everything else, it's happening, and we're in a great place to help guide that. But we also need to be humble and keep learning because things are bursting out every which way.
Jacqueline?
Yes, so this conference is timely. And I say that because in Pat's opening remarks, she said, and this is a quote, "It's time." It's time. With the company's commitment to ESG, together with where ethics and compliance fits within that, it's time, guys. Let's get it together, because if we fail to merge all of these important issues, businesses are going to fail. And we've already seen the demand from employees, stakeholders who expect businesses to take positions on social issues. We've already seen that. And it's not an option for them to remain silent. And so I come back to Pat's quote, "It's time." And I want to give you another quote. "What got you here is not going to get you there." And Andrea has this posted on her website today. What got you here is not going to get you there. And to me, that is so representative of where we are right now. And we've got to pay attention.
Amen.
Well, I wanted to thank you all for taking the time to visit with me, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
This is Tom Fox. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Report from Impact 2023. We've linked to the guest information in the show notes, as well as ECI. Check out the ECI website for upcoming events, reports, and other information. Report from ECI 2023 is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.